Hey, it's Mike with the Y, and you're listening to My Reality Recap, the only podcast where I get to talk about all of my feelings towards the shows that I love. Today we're going to talk about the new cast of Dancing with the Stars, what happened during the Gauntlet on Face Off, the Boom 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 on America's Next Top Model, and the blindside that finally happened on Big Brother. I hope you're ready for this, so put your glasses on and get ready to get your freak on with me. My special guest today is my good friend Drew. Drew, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited about this.
Good. I'm excited you're here. So you, like myself, are a big fan of reality TV. What is your all-time favorite reality show?
Since I was a kid, it is Survivor, closely followed by Big Brother, but Survivor's on top.
Hell yeah. Good answer. This is why I had you on the show. I want to start talking about Dancing with the Stars. It started this week. And there's 13 new people, and I mean, not all of them are like stars, I don't think. Some of them are just like...
Are they ever all really stars, though?
No, I mean, I feel like they're starting to run out of people, so they're trying to find who...
They're very knowable, though. I identify with all of them. I've seen them before, which is actually better than the first seasons than Dancing with the Stars. So I'm for this season.
Yes, that is very true. Okay, so I want to just talk about a couple of the teams that went on. There is the first ever married couple on the season. They're competing against each other. It's Carlos and Alexa Penavega, and Carlos is from a boy band, and Alexa is Carmen from Spy Kids.
You have no idea how excited I am to see Carmen again. Carmen from Spy Kids. She's grown up so much, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be so exciting.
She is beautiful. Like, I didn't realize she was from Spy Kids until I did the whole little segment, and I was just like, holy shit, she is beautiful. And yeah, so they danced, and they are going to be a force to be reckoned with, I feel like. Carlos got 23 out of 30 and Alexa got 22 out of 30, and that put them in like second and third place for the week.
They're putting power couple in a whole new term for Dancing with the Stars this season, because you think of power couple as like, you know, the person celebrity and they're dancing they're with. They're actually a couple this season, and I think they're going to go really, really far just based on the first dances alone.
The other ones I want to talk about are Bindi Irwin and Derek. Bindi Irwin is the daughter of the crocodile hunter.
Bindi's adorable.
She's so cute. She's like 17, I think she is.
17, and she killed it. Oh my god. She has so much energy and confidence. I don't know where high schoolers get it these days, or like people who are like in their teens. I don't have that much now.
And her accent was beautiful. I mean, I don't want to get into the Australian accent because I could probably butcher it really badly.
We talk about it for days.
I could just do, good day, mate. Like, that's as much as I can do, I think, in Australian. At least right now. I can really get into it when I'm drunk, but...
We won't risk it on air. No.
But I just want to point out that Derek Huff, her partner, always gets a good dancing partner. And I feel like that's kind of unfair because, yes, he is like a fan favorite with everybody, but every so often they got to give him somebody bad because it's not fair. Like other professional dancers like Karina, she always gets like a really good one or a bad one. And it's like, you got to kind of balance it out every so often.
I'd like to give him a challenge of like a competitor, someone he'd have to build up and really make better.
Like, I would have loved to seen him with Paula Deen this season. Make him try something different and new.
Yes, I would love that. I think that'd been great because they always put him, you're right, with someone who's always really good dancer to get go, or someone who has like a lot of like following going in. They already give him like a head start. Like, let's give him like a little bit of like a learning block early on to see if we can get like really good with someone who's not as great as his past competitors.
Exactly. So I just want to point that out because I feel like there's some black magic happening behind the scenes for Team Derek. The other team I want to talk about right now is Nick Carter and his partner Sharna. And he's from the Backstreet Boys. Everybody knows who he is. But the thing that really pisses me off is he said that he was doing Dancing with the Stars because he has an insecurity about his dancing.
I call bullshit.
Yeah, he's been dancing for over 20 years. Right? It has to be 20 years.
On stage in a boy band, like, it may be like super basic choreographing, but they are not actually super basic. They're super complicated. I remember watching NSYNC Backstreet Boys, like, back in the 90s and early 2000s when they had all the routines, and they're in front of millions of people. I don't believe he's nervous. I just don't believe he's nervous. He is definitely doing this just to get back in the spotlight. Like, he wants the attention. I don't blame him. I'd be doing the exact same thing. But to say you have an insecurity dancing, I don't. Or maybe he has an insecurity now. He's no longer like a fresh chicken in here. Like
maybe.
Like he still is in good shape and everything, but maybe he's just nervous. He's not gonna keep up with those awesome b-boy moves he had earlier. I loved his moves back in the day.
Okay, so the top looks for this week were Nick and Sharna. And Bindi and Derek, they both tied for 24 stars out of 30. And the worst dance this week went to Kim from The Real Housewives of Atlanta and her partner Tony. They got 12 stars out of 30, and that dance was awful.
I felt so bad for her. She looked like a nervous Jennifer Coolidge, and she just
Oh my God, she did.
She was so nervous the whole entire time, and I wish she had some more confidence. I think she would have done so much better, but it was clearly visible the minute they hoisted her on that thing. Why would you hoist her on that on the first dance? Let her have standing on her own 2 feet.
Yeah, it was not good, but they didn't eliminate anybody this week. They eliminate next week. And yeah, it'll just be interesting to see where this all goes. Like, I already have the people that I know who are going to make it farther. Like, you can tell.
You can tell who's going to sail to the top 6 pretty quickly.
Exactly. So Face Off this week did something different. They did the Gauntlet, which was a 3-stage series. Not series. The 3-stage challenge. That's a better word for that. And so each round, they got ranked from a score of 1 to 9. 1 was like the first place. And each round, they got more points as they went on, and whoever had the least points after 3 rounds was the person eliminated this week. And so I was kind of excited. It's a different challenge than what they've did ever before. And so stage 1 was a foundation challenge, and they had to pick a model that was either dressed like they were in a desert or in the Arctic and do a makeup on them, like a makeup as in a sunburn, or heat stroke, or frostbite. Extreme elements. And so the top look for that round was Nora. She had this awesome, badass frostbite makeup. It was so beautiful. Good. And the bottom look was Kevin. Stage 2, they had to focus on painting. So all their models had prosthetics on, and they got to create a look with using airbrush painting and hand painting and all this stuff. I just want to point out, each of these first 2 rounds, they only had 2 hours to do these looks. When I was in high school and had art classes, I would take like a week on my art.
I don't know how they did the amount of work they did in this time. It's like, this is like the triathlon for Face Off, like makeup. It was amazing. And for the amount of time they were given, you're right. It was amazing work. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't do anything like that. I was in high school too, and really bad at art as well, Michael.
I mean, I'm pretty good at crafts. Like, I make my bow ties and all this stuff. And so I'm good crocheting. At it. Yeah, I love to crochet. I was almost about to crochet while I was doing this podcast too. But, I felt like the yarn might make too much noise in my hooks.
Yeah.
Anyways, but I just want to applaud these people, because if I had this talent, I would just love to be able to make something with my hands and sculpt. So they had 2 hours to do stage 2 as well, and the focus on painting. The top look was Kevin, who was the bottom in the first round. And the last place for round 2 was Evan. So after they combined the scores, the top look was Kevin. And there was a tie for last place between Stevie and Evan going into the final round. And everybody was freaking out. They were like, oh my gosh, this is a new challenge. I don't know what's going on. I mean, it made everybody on edge because it's a new challenge. I mean, I thought it was pretty good TV just to see how...
I thought it was great TV because they kept the stress on the whole episode with 3 challenges in a row, and each challenge got increasingly more difficult, in my opinion, personally. Because
that was the point of the gauntlet.
That was the point. That was the point of the gauntlet. They're putting them through the gauntlet, and by the end challenge, I don't know how most of them weren't spent out of creative energy.
Right. So for the last round, they had to do 3 makeups. One of them was the main one they had to focus on, and the other 2 were background looks, but they all had to look like they were part of a group. Cohesive, that's the right word. And so my favorites were Meg. I am Team Meg all the way. She's the pretty girl who wears a snapback. And the other one I liked was Nora. And they were really cohesive, and I thought they stood out. But Meg was actually a bottom look that round, and I was like, what? But, I mean, the other thing about the show is the makeups look so different in person than they probably do on TV. And so that's where it's hard for me to always critique the stuff.
You notice the judges at the very end always go right up to them. They had to go up really close to see the detail work in it. It's kind of like, I'm assuming maybe what tattoo judging's like. You had to get in there and really look at it up close before you can look at a picture on Tumblr or something and say, oh, I want it. It's so awesome. But no, I think you had to get up there real close for the judges.
Yeah, and I wish the post pictures or something on the sci-fi website so you could really see the detail and stuff. Just a suggestion, so all you sci-fi people who I know are listening to this podcast, I'd like to see that in the future. So the overall winner of the Gauntlet episode was Nora. Woo! Congratulations,
clear
Nora.
Winner though. She from that first challenge on, she was clearly going to be the winner of this Gauntlet.
Yeah, she was really good, and I think this was her first win, overall win of the season. And so kudos to her. And the bottom and the eliminated contestant this week was Jasmine. And Jasmine was one of my picks last week to go to the end. I'm just like,
reality TV
very
is
surprised.
a fickle, fickle bitch.
It is. Okay, so on America's Next Top Model this week, they finally had an acting challenge. And I also talked about that last week on this podcast because Niall, the deaf guy, I was like, how are they going to do that with him? And it actually all worked out. And I was like, pretty interesting. Okay, so they had a CW acting challenge, and Kelly Catrone was the hostess of it, which I love me some Mama Wolf. And Lori Openden is the VP for talent and casting for the CW, and she was also there. They had to act out a love scene that was Shakespeare themed, and they were in teams of 2. Devin didn't take it seriously, which, do you want to talk about Devin for a little bit, or is it going to get you upset?
I'll talk about Devin a little bit. My problem with Devin is his attitude. I don't like it when people come on reality TV and they've seen reality TV before and they just are still kind of mean, cocky people when they know
He's so full of himself.
He's so full of himself. And
he's like, I've been signed to
get
6 agencies, but like, you're not getting anywhere in life. So there's something obviously not going on.
Editing is not painting him in a pretty picture either, because I don't think they have a lot to go on at this point. Like that little trio, but especially Devin, there's something about his personality that rubs me the wrong way, and I'll leave it at that because I don't want to be mean. I don't want to be mean because I don't know in real life, and he might be really nice.
Maybe.
It's a long shot.
So they did the challenge, and Devin didn't take it seriously, and so he got the lowest score. Him and Ashley, they got 6 out of 10. And the winning team was Lacey and Niall, which were they're my 2 picks to win this whole thing. When they were paired together, and I was so excited. And how they did it with Niall was he just signed the words, and Lacey had to wait for him to be done, and then she spoke too. So it was like they were actually like talking, and I thought it was pretty interesting to see how that all went down. The actual winner of the challenge was Lacey. Woo! Team Lacey. I could honestly look at her all day. I'm not even into girls, and I could look at her.
Everything she does in the show has been gold. Like, just straight up gold. Like, she's like, those are the early girls in the seasons of every America's Next Top Model that just do so well all the way through. She's that this season.
But I don't want her. Some of the other seasons, the girls that were really good, they start to get bad in the middle. I don't want that to happen with her. I don't feel like it will. I feel like there's just so much in her that
I think this season has a weird tone to it where you know who's good and who's not. And I feel like it will stay a lot more steady in past seasons compared.
Right, I think so too. And I'm really excited to see more. Like, I wish that they did a photo shoot this week because I like her in photos better than
she's so great. She can do everything.
She can do everything. And so they did do an actual commercial this episode, and it was for Boom 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 deodorant. And I'm pretty sure it's a made up deodorant that Tyra's trying to do.
Dear God, I hope it's fictional. It cannot be real.
But the boom 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 is the abs on a guy, because you got that boom 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 for each layer of your 6-pack. Do you have a 6-pack?
No, I do not have a 6-pack. I have a boom, like just
one boom,
like
boom.
It's like a singular, like it's flat.
I'm starting to get a boom 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 going on.
You're starting to get a boom boom boom.
I've been doing so much working out. Like, I'm really proud of it. But I've been told I have girl abs.
Boom 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 abs. No matter what, they're abs. At least you have them.
I mean, I don't know if I'll be able to get like guy abs like Niall or Dustin, but
it's a body structure thing. I feel like we're so skinny. I feel like it would be hard for us to get those boom boom abs that all these guys on this little season's episode.
I'm still trying.
So he's still trying. He has effort and like drive and ambition for a good body. I have given up and just given into takeout food past like 9 o'clock.
I mean, I don't really eat healthy though. I feel like if I ate healthy, that would probably help.
Make it easier. I thought if I ate some salads, maybe I would be like a little bit healthier, but that's not happening.
Okay, we need to get back to the show.
Yeah, get back to them.
Okay, so they were paired up for this commercial as well, and it was really sexual. Like, some of it was almost borderline porno with how they were like all about each other and the way they were talking.
Did Tyra give them their booty tooch speech this season? Because I feel like maybe she should have after watching all of them.
Yeah, I don't think she did. She did a whole like neck thing. Cause
she did the neck thing in past episodes, I think some of these girls could use like a nice booty tooch lessons on like the skanky booty tooch and like the good model booty tooch. The
people that I want to talk about was Lacey and Devin. Devin was quite awful in this thing. He was like, I don't even know what they said. He was like, you want to see my fierce? And it's like, you don't, that's not really
If that was
sexual.
A client who was watching him audition, or actually this is him on the job, he would have been fired.
Right. Like,
he would have been fired immediately. He wasn't even trying to portray what they were trying to portray. And he has this little quirk where he always tries to push his eyebrow up, and they've been telling him for a while now, don't do that. And he just doesn't listen. He doesn't take critique well.
Right. And I just thought that was interesting that he was with Lacey, and Lacey is so good, and I was hoping that he would be able to
feed off of her.
Feed off of her. And he just didn't do it, but she was still spot on and nailed everything. So I was like, good for her. She didn't let him bring her down.
The fact that she was as good as she was, especially with someone who could have brought her down, more props to her.
Exactly. And two of the other people I want to talk about are Niall and Ashley. And Niall, again, he signed his stuff and they had subtitles on the screen. And Ashley was just kind of there. She didn't really do much of anything. And they kind of seemed like an actual couple. And they even got critiqued on that by Tyra, that they didn't fake it. Because like when you're a commercial, you have to give like a fake relationship.
They seem
stuff.
comfortable.
Yeah, they were like
that was my
comfortable.
problem.
Like,
they seemed comfortable, which didn't give energy to it. That's my problem. Except I did like Niall more than Ashley.
Well, I mean, we're always gonna like Niall.
I'm always gonna like Niall more. But I do like Ashley too. I thought she's always been pretty solid throughout. But like she does have this like sleepy tendency, and it just really came alive on like live action film instead of just like a still photo this time, and it didn't work, sadly, for her.
But Niall, you get my vote for best boom 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 of the episode.
Out of the whole season, he has the best boom boom booms.
He has the best everything.
Yeah, I love Niall.
Niall.
We're done with Niall. I'm sorry. Okay. We can't talk about you forever.
Okay, so the best commercial, I was going to say photo, the best commercial this week went to Lacey. Woo!
Yeah,
so she got the challenge win and she got the best photo win. I just said photo, the best commercial win. So she basically had the best night of her life.
She swept.
She swept. And the bottom two this week were Devin and Ashley. And I was like, oh my gosh, is this going to be Devin's time to go? I was like, no, they're going to keep him on because everybody hates him.
They're going to milk him for the reality TV that he is. And we had to get rid of someone who is actually, I liked her better as a human being.
Yeah, so they got rid of Ashley. And I mean, I don't think she was going to win, but I felt like she was better than Devin.
But I also feel like she had more potential than some of the other people.
Right.
In comparison.
I feel like with Devin being in the bottom two now, I feel like he's going to be able to hopefully get his shit together and not be as crazy and sporadic.
One of two things. He's either going to get, as you said, get his shit together and get like, I don't know, an attitude check, a reality check, or he's just going to go off the deep end and saying, I didn't deserve that, I'm doing great. I feel like it could go either way, and for reality TV's sake, I'm hoping he goes off the deep end a little bit more because they'll get something to watch.
Okay, so the last show I'm going to talk about is Big Brother 17. We are coming up on the finale, and I was literally so nervous this entire week about the show because Vanessa has been killing it every week, and it's getting down to the wire, and I was like, oh my god, is this going to be the time where she goes? Okay, so Vanessa ended up winning the first head of household. There's two evictions this week, so I'm going to try to talk about one, and then we're going to talk about the other. Vanessa won the first head of household at the final five. And Liz won the luxury part of the head of household. And Liz won a trip out of the Big Brother house to see Ariana Grande. And Frankie Grande, who was on Big Brother last season, was their special date. And so they got to leave the Big Brother house for the day, and they had disguises. And so Liz and Vanessa became Dakota and Roxy. And they both looked pretty good, I thought, in their disguises. I mean, they didn't tell the public where they were going, but if I knew they were going to be there, I probably would have been able to pick them out of the crowd. Like, they disguises weren't that good. But they still looked pretty. So once they got back into the house, Vanessa had to do her nominations. She nominated Steve and Johnny Mac, which that means she sided with the power couple of Austin and Liz.
I thought that was strange. What did you think about that?
I thought that was really strange too. But then I kind of thought about it. She's been more loyal with Austin and Liz since the beginning.
But the problem with Vanessa is you never know because it's Vanessa.
Exactly. She's so sporadic, and one day something can change, and she's like, oh, this is the right thing for me.
She has the ability to gauge a temperature of a house. She runs very much in paranoia a lot, but the paranoia seems somehow chaotically controlled, where she can just tell about other people.
She's just so good.
You can tell she plays. I remember watching her like 5 years ago when she still played like professional poker. Like when
you watched her play poker?
I watched her play poker. I did. That's
why you watch people play poker
on Sundays after church because I hated church. After church, I went and watched poker for hours after church, and my parents went upstairs and talked about Jesus. I was talking about poker. Vanessa.
I don't even know how to play card games.
Poker's
Uno.
Fun.
I can play Uno.
It's a fascinating game, and honestly, poker is so much like Big Brother in the way that you can tell she just reads people, and she just reads them all the time. She's constantly watching. She's observing. She's so good. She's made.
I
for
really
Big Brother.
hope that after they get at the finale, she tells everybody, like, yeah, I'm a poker player. Like how they told after Derek last season, he was like,
Well,
yeah,
I'm
I'm an
surprised
undercover
no
cop.
one knew, because if anybody watches poker's not exactly, let's face it, widely focused on sport. It's on Sundays,
Right.
as I already said. But like, she's a pretty well-known poker player, especially female poker player. So I feel like if I was in the house, I would have known that. And I would have called her out on it right
See,
away. But clearly, no one knows.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have known it. Anyways, we just love Vanessa.
We do. We have love, love, love for Vanessa.
Hello, 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 hello. That's an Ashley Simpson song. That's old school Ashley
That's a
Simpson.
flashback from the past.
Okay, back to Big Brother for a little bit. I don't want to keep singing. I don't have a great singing voice. John won the power veto, and he was nominated against Steve. And so Vanessa was like, "This is my worst case scenario. What am I gonna do?" And
She's loving it though. I bet in the inside she's loving it.
yeah, she loves it. And so she nominated Austin to go up against Steve. So the final nominations were Steve and Austin. And on eviction night, they had a tie vote, a 1-to-1 vote. And so Vanessa, as HOH, had to break the tie. And she decided to vote out Austin.
Best dramatic point of the season so far for me is when she did this.
I was screaming at the TV. I was so happy she did it. I've been waiting 80 some days for a blindside, and it finally happened. Austin was freaking out. He was like, "Are you serious? You're not going to win this game." And he didn't see it coming. He didn't have shoes on. So he got eliminated and talked to Julie Chen barefoot. And I'm like, this is gold. I loved it.
What I find insane about Austin's comments, though, is like he's watched Vanessa play this game all season. So like, why wouldn't you expect like her to choose the best thing for her?
Right, and he
Austin's
even made a comment in his diary room session that he's like, it might be best for her to try to take me out, and she did. And he's just been so, what's the word I'm trying to say? He's so anti Vanessa now. That's
Yeah,
not the right word
he
still.
is not in her camp, and I think in the jury house, like if he goes in there too hot, it could hurt her chances. In my opinion, jury tainting is some of the
It
easiest
depends
thing
on
to do.
who. If she makes it to the end, it depends on who she's up against, I think.
I agree.
Okay, so that was the first eviction. We lost Austin. So the final four is 2 boys, 2 girls: Steve, Johnny Mac, Vanessa, and Liz. And Steve pulled out the HOH, so Steve is automatically guaranteed a spot in the final 3. And on finale night, he nominated John and Vanessa was obviously the main target because everybody realizes that if they want to make a big move in front of the jury, she has been the person who has gotten everybody out of this house basically, and so you got to get rid of her. And it all came down to the power veto, and Vanessa won the power veto. I stayed up so late to see what happened in the live feeds when they came back on, and when I saw that she won, I was literally up for an hour because I was so happy for her.
Could you imagine a season where she got voted out earlier and we wouldn't have this moment of like a player holding the season together? She's holding the season together for me.
She is. Like,
her.
if she got out and there was all these, like, I don't want to say they're floaters because, I mean, Steve has won 3 head of households. Liz has won 3 head of households.
Steve and Johnny Mac have
So
both come in their own as players, but they came in too late compared to Vanessa. That they have to get rid of her now or else they don't have anything to stand on. They don't have a leg to stand on during jury.
Right. And so I just love that she's doing this. And I know a lot of people hate her online too. Like, they are so anti-Vanessa. And I feel like they're just upset that it's the second season in a row that somebody has controlled the entire house all summer. Because Derek controlled it last year. She's controlling it this year. And I wonder if it's because she's a female. And I feel like that might be what it is. And there was Cass from Survivor. She's one of my favorites on Survivor. I don't know if I'd say ever, but I think she's so
one of the
brilliant.
most polarizing people I've ever watched on Survivor.
Yes, and she always made this. She had a quote on her first season because she's on the new season too, and it was, "If I were a man and I made all the moves that I've made, I would be strategic. But because I'm a woman, I'm a bitch." And I think that's accurate. I feel like men in reality TV are always given, okay, it's known that he's going to be a villain, like Dan, Big Brother Dan. And you know he's going to be strategic, and Dr. Will, they're going to be bad.
Love those
but people
guys.
still love them. But when there's a female involved, they hate her. And I just think that's interesting.
But I also think it might be because Vanessa is also very emotional.
Yes.
She wears her emotions on her sleeve, and I think people sometimes don't know if it's authentic or not, and I think that's why people are taking it that way. I think usually the men that we've had, like the ones you've mentioned, they didn't cry as much as Vanessa yet.
No.
And I think people are overplaying her emotional side of the game and not giving her enough credit for the strategic side that she's playing.
But still, pulling on people's emotions is a strategy. So maybe that's something that's going on too.
I think she's doing some crazy batshit manipulation, brainwashing. And I think the crying is a tactic that maybe is just working. I think no matter what she's doing, it's obviously working.
It is. And so she, as the power veto holder, she got to cast a sole vote to evict. And so she voted out Johnny Mac. So we are down to the final 3 between Steve, Vanessa, and Liz. And I don't need to ask you who you think is going to win because I already know.
It's Vanessa.
Vanessa, Team Vanessa. I'm starting to get nervous because I have a whole week to wait now to see if she's going to win.
Should we run scenarios real quick on what you think could happen in these last 3? Like, who has a lead?
We can. I feel like it needs to be, for Vanessa to guarantee the win, she needs to be up against Liz.
Yes, I agree. I was going to say that. You can't bring, because if the jury really does hate her, they need to bring someone they might hate more.
Right, and Liz will only get 2 votes from her twin, Julia, and Austin, but everybody else would vote for Vanessa.
They'll respect her game now that they have more hindsight to it.
Right. So, yes, Vanessa, please win. If you don't win, it's going to be like probably the worst season of Big Brother.
I'll be so disappointed if you don't win.
Yes, and just please win.
The only upside she doesn't win, you got to bring her back.
Yes, and I feel like next season might be an All-Stars too.
If it's an All-Stars and they bring winners, bring her back.
Yes, if she doesn't win, she better be an All-Stars. Okay.
Her and Derek.
I think I've been talking. I feel really good about this.
Me too.
Don't you just love this? Like, it's like a good therapy session. Like, it's like doing yoga.
When you talk about reality therapy, when you talk about reality TV, you just get it all out there. It's cathartic. I feel like I've released so many emotions.
I just love it. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Drew.
It has been so much fun. I love this. I love talking about reality TV.
And I want to thank all of you for listening to this. If you like what you heard today, please click that subscribe button and give this podcast a 5-star rating. That'll make me feel really good inside. And I want to keep the conversation going with all of you. Tweet me at Michael with a Y or hashtag MYRR to let me know all of your thoughts and feelings about the shows we talked about today or what shows you want me to talk about in the future. Make sure to keep up with me on social media and follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Michael with a Y, and that is spelled exactly as it is on here. Don't forget to smile and remember, glasses are sexy.